Hey guys, welcome to the Being Beautifully Honest podcast and channel. Thanks for being here, for being subscribed. If you're not, go ahead and hit that button. And if you're listening on YouTube, hit that like button. It's like walking in the room and hitting that light switch. Let's brighten up the place and get into this reality chat. I'm just getting around to having a moment to talk about this, guys. I know it's been several days since this most recent episode of Love and Marriage Huntsville aired, but when I heard this, because this was at the beginning of the episode, I said, now, girl, why are you lying? Why are you lying? And I also, to be honest with you, I didn't really want to talk about this, but I just kind of feel like they forced my hand because I have been so just over the fact that I've heard people over the past several seasons when Melody has been going through or was going through the turmoil in her marriage and all of the back and forth stuff and the craziness that she was going through with Hotel, that people were trying to make it seem like Melody was trying to ruin Latisha's marriage. So honestly, I didn't want to talk about her too much because I didn't want to make it feel like I was dogpiling on her. Like, here we go again. Somebody else is talking about Latisha and trying to defend Melody or whatever. But for those of you who have been with me on the Being Beautifully Honest platform for a little minute, one, I want to let you know I really do appreciate you. And two, those who know that I'm not just going to get on here and say something about someone because I don't like them. I'm always doing my best to be on the side of right. And I'm not even saying that I am right all of the time because sometimes facts come out. Facts can change. Truth never changes. Truth never changes, but facts can change based on circumstances and situations in life. That's a real thing. So you all know that I can't stand Hotel, but I even had to come out and say that some things that he was saying about Marsau were absolutely correct. But anyway, I digress. Latisha is lying. I'm just going to put it like this. Latisha is lying because at the beginning of this episode, you see her at, I don't know, it was a manager's house or something like that with their two daughters, and they're packaging products that have been sold from her daughter's hair care line, maciandmila. And I'm like, girl, because she said that they've been working on this for about 4 or 5 years. Correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't Love and Marriage Huntsville come out in 2018? Because one, I don't even remember them even advertising or promoting the show. I just happened to see the show in passing. And I've said this before, one of the things that intrigued me about the show was at the time, my husband, even though he wasn't really in Huntsville a lot, but he was working overseas in Iraq, and the company that he was working for, they were based in Huntsville, Alabama. And I had never even heard of Huntsville, Alabama before, to be honest with you. I never had. So when we were down there, honestly, he was more overseas and we were more where we are from and where we live than in Huntsville, but we were there a little bit. And so it was like, oh, wow, okay. Because it's about 8 hours away from where I live. So I just was intrigued by it because I'm like, oh my God, we come here. So yeah, let me check it out. That's one of the things that intrigued me about it. But she was a stay-at-home mom and she was trying to get under the guise of her overbearing husband, Marsau, and had to ask permission to pretty much do anything. Did you hear anything about her having products out back then? I'm sorry. I just don't believe that at all. So I'm saying that she's lying. I could be wrong, but you could correct me in the comment section if I am incorrect. But I don't believe her. She's lying. We know that Stormy has had her product line of hair care products out for, I guess, a few years now. I never heard of her before either, before her coming on the show or her products, but it's a legitimate brand, whether people like it or not. It is. I have seen it in Sally Beauty Supply. I've never used her stuff. I've never bought it. I'm overloaded on natural hair care products, and honestly, I'm over it. But I'm just saying, she and Stormy are friends. I find it really ironic that she's like, I like Stormy, when Marsau and she are having a conversation about Stormy calling her husband, calling him a bitch, right? But she's got problems with Melody giving critique and constructive criticism over the Black Business Expo and how they can improve upon it if they wish to do it next year, right? And we know that Melody definitely has her hair products for her children, sugar mama, right? Or child, I should say. So children's hair product line was something that Melody did before Latisha, just like a number of things that Melody did before Latisha. Look, it's cool. If you just want to lie and say you were inspired by what Melody did to do the same thing, it's fine. A lot of people lie and use inspiration to say that they were inspired by what somebody else to do the same thing. I know, because I'm in the beauty industry, and the business that I have, I was the first to do what I'm doing where I'm located. I actually started in 2008. And I've had so many copycats that have come along the way. Again, like I say, people will say they didn't know anything about it, or they may say I was inspired by. That's just a pretty way of tying it up in a bow of saying that they copied what somebody else is doing. So I know all about that. Now, look, there's nothing new under the sun, but there are definitely people who have been the first to do it where they are. And that's one thing versus the other. Latisha did not start a hair product line 4 or 5 years ago for her children. That's just a flat out lie. And I would have more respect for her if she said, Stormy and I, we had some conversations and some meetings, and I really got inspired by her hair care product journey, and she shared some tips and things with me. And because I have these 2 daughters and I'm all into hair, as you know, since I started seeing how Melody's been glowing up, I wanted to glow up too. So I'm getting my hair done every 3 days or every 5 days. I just decided, wouldn't it be cool to have a hair product line and name it after my kids? Do that. But don't say that this is something that has been in the works for 4 or 5 years, because we know that that's not true. And I would have more respect for someone that would just try to wrap it up into something else versus just flat out lying and saying, I started this 4 or 5 years ago. It's bull crap. So when I heard her say that, I was looking to the side and I said, did she just say that? Or did she mean to say months? Now, we know Latisha, and sometimes she gets her words mixed up, if you get my drift. But months and years don't sound like the same thing. Now, if she said she started the product line 4 or 5 months ago versus 4 or 5 months ago, I would understand that, she just couldn't pronounce it correctly. It's one of those things. But the word years and months don't sound the same. So girl, get off of that, because nobody's buying that. And the ones who do, they just don't like Melody and they want to ride for Latisha. Because I've seen people like that make those types of comments, and it's like, really? You don't have to like Melody, and you definitely don't have to be a millimeter, but you don't have to try to make it seem like this girl is something that she's not, or that Melody's trying to do something to her and to her marriage that she really honestly doesn't care about. I mean, seriously, when people are that busy, even though they may entertain a conversation like she and Kiki had when they went to meet up for lunch that day, entertaining a conversation from someone who's speaking about it versus her just proactively going out to conspire, to spread rumors or whatever about this girl and her husband and their marriage is a completely different thing. And Melody doesn't have time for that. And we already know. So it's just really ridiculous when people say stuff like that, whether they said it back then or they say it now. But Latisha's definitely not telling the truth. And she just needs to quit lying. I just could not. I could not with that when I heard that. And I said, you know what? I have to say something about that, because that bothers me. I don't like, especially just being in the industry that I'm in, being in that same industry, I know how people are. I know how people are when it comes to stuff like that. And there really is a market for everyone. Someone else's market may not be as large or as huge as someone else's, and that's fine too. Not everyone is going to be in retail stores. Not everyone is going to have, millions of followers or whatever, and that's fine as well. But you don't really need everybody. You just need the right people. And if you were just more honest about it, I think you would probably get more people that would be interested or want to support or want to, purchase your products that are, I guess, supposed to be for children's hair, because you're putting your children's likenesses and their names on it. So put some honesty on that as well. But I guess she can't do that. And then to sit there and hear Marsau talking about making mini moguls. Okay, whatever. We know some people have been able to attempt it and maybe even have it happen by starting out with lies. But the way you start is the way you will finish. So why not just start out with integrity and being honest? And that just bothers me. I can't stand it. So I just wanted to talk about that briefly, guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Thank you so much for being here, for liking and subscribing. I'm Beth, just being beautifully honest. So until the next time, I wanted to keep it brief, beautiful, and now I'm going to say bye.